Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to give all glory and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakar, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach, lead, and rule well. Honors and salutations to you faithful Akim pushing the word and truth, sincerity across the four corners of the globe. It's the brother Yadai and the brother
Arap
from the GMS Atlanta camp. We just want to do a quick lesson on pretty much being open to correction. You know, being open to correction because it's necessary. Because you know, one thing that men really have to realize is the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, He corrects us a lot of times through other men. You know, you definitely can learn and grow, you know, in the spirit by, you know, reading and, you know, watching videos and doing other things and being built up that way. But a lot of times correction comes through other men. And really it's a necessary part of your growth, because you can't even if you do a very good job of self-examination, examining yourself, there's a lot of times you can't see certain things, man. You know, you can't see certain things looking out of the house, but sometimes people can see things looking towards the house. Okay. And for that, you got to be open to correction, like I said, because it's necessary. So, you know, without further ado, we're going to get into the scripture. You got anything to add up?
To add on to your point, most men take that correction from men at face value, not knowing that could be, you know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai speaking through that man to you.
Come.
You know, so if one of your fellow brethren come to you, you know, with correction, man, you need to listen and take heed, okay? Because that correction or chastening could actually, you know, be the what I want to say. It could actually save your life,
right?
Or you know, so to speak.
Right.
All right.
God, yeah, because you know, Satan, he gonna use any and every avenue to get to you.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to take heed when men come to you, and you know, whether it's correction, it might just be, we won't get into, it might just be instruction. It might not even really necessarily be you going off. Right. It might be something that a brother sees that can just you know, give you a little jewel to help you just reach that next level.
That's right. You
know, but if you have a closed ear or a closed mind, a closed heart, so to speak, you know, that could be a vital piece of information that even if, you know, that correction doesn't make you go all the way off, you know, as far as, you know, turning your back to the Lord, it may be something that saves you a lot of pain, man, you know, and a big setback. So, you know, just take heed to that.
Yep.
So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna pretty much be reading out of Proverbs. I'm gonna start off with Proverbs 9:9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. And that's very important. It says, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Because that's actually a sign of wisdom, man. It's a sign of wisdom for, you know, for the Spirit to use a brother to come up to you and tell you something, you know, that you can actually utilize in your walk. And what would a wise man do? A wise man's going to take heed to that counsel and understand that it's not just a man coming to you telling you something, you know, because he, you know, he just wants to get on you, you know. Nah, he's actually telling you that through the Spirit, so you can actually incorporate that in your spirit that make you sharper, man.
That's right.
You know, and a lot of times correction might come not necessarily for you always to hear. It might be for other men to see. The Spirit might be using you as an example to be solid or good, so to speak, in taking correction. Or on another man, like, you know, Scripture speaks about not being respectful of persons. Another man might see, man, you know, he fell short in this. I should have been helping him with that the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then through that process, you're going to get even more sharper by things being added to your spirit even more and more. But I'm going to continue in that. It says, teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. So it's all part of the learning process, you know? And that's part of you being just, a part of you being an upright Israelite man is being open to just hearing your brother out. You know, it's a family affair. You know, we call each other, Akim, because we're brothers. We're a family, and what a good family member, a good brother, will always have their other family members or their other brothers' best interests in mind.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You got anything to add?
No, I was just agreeing. That's right on point.
Proverbs 9 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the holy is understanding. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. And that's that is just, like I said, it's a process. You know, it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, because me personally, if a brother comes up to me and tells me something, so I'm gonna listen because I fear the Lord.
Right.
Because he's telling me that so I could sharpen that area or aspect up, so to speak, so I don't fall, in a trap or a snare. And ultimately, if I fall in a trap or a snare, I go off. It's the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that's bringing that judgment on me.
Right.
And you always want to try your best to avoid the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. If you do get judgment, you want to be a positive judgment. You know what I'm saying? You want, well, really, in essence, it will be a reward, so to speak, because you are doing the right thing and you stand in the spirit. Now, it's going to be certain times, even if you're doing a good job and being holy and being just, that sometimes the Most High will do what He got to do to test you and try you, in His own understanding. His ways are higher than our ways. His understanding is higher than our understanding. So it does happen like that sometimes. But ultimately, like I said, it's through the fear of the Lord that you should really take heed to your brothers when they come and tell you about yourself, man.
Especially if you feel like that man is actually a man of the Lord. Because like he's saying, there could be, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai speaking through that man.
Con. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but then you have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So that understanding is gonna really seep into your spirit, man, to where you really understand, man, the Most High did this, did that. You're able to kind of replay a situation back, and you have a higher level of understanding of what the Most High is trying to reveal to you through the Spirit.
Okay.
So from there we're gonna go into Proverbs 15. I'm gonna read 15 and verse 14. You can break it down out.
Okay.
Proverbs 15 and 14. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge.
Okay. And that word heart goes back to la'ah, which means your mind. Okay. Read that from the top again.
Okay. Proverbs 15 and 14. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge.
Right. So if you have understanding in your mind, and you want to gain knowledge, you'll seek it. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm gonna add to your point real quick. And what's the main way you seek knowledge? You seek knowledge by reading and hearing the word.
Right.
And that knowledge, when the Most High puts those trials on you, is convert your experiences to understanding. You can't have understanding, just like if you have an equation, so to speak. You can't understand how to manipulate the factors in an equation if you don't have a knowledge of the components of that equation. So, like Scripture say, the heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge.
Right.
So a major component, well, the main component to seeking knowledge is to actively read. But we'll continue in that verse out.
Right.
But the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness.
Right. And that say feedeth, that means you thrive off foolishness. The mouth of fools thrives on foolishness. That means, long as a brother or, somebody in the world coming to you and feeding you bullshit, you'll take it. You'll value that more over a brother that's actually telling you righteous deeds than you do a brother that's trying to get you right through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why it say but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. Okay?
Kind.
You got anything to add?
Nah. I'm gonna go to the. I'm just gonna go down one more verse.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna skip down to verse 16. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. So it's better, man. It's better to have, a little bit and have that fear of the Lord. It speaks about the fear of the Lord is the Most High's treasure. Better is to have little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith, than to have an abundance and you don't have the wisdom and understanding to know how to deal with that. Because really, not being content in your state, whether it's a lowly state, whether it's a man trying to tell you about yourself so you can really see what's going on with yourself, is pride.
I got something real quick.
Okay.
This is Proverbs 15:10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die.
Break it down, huh?
Basically, that scripture right there pretty much self-explanatory. Correction is grievous. That word means grievous. Basically means a burden, or it's harsh.
Mm-hmm.
So correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way. And what's the way? The knowledge and understanding of these scriptures.
Right.
The way of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
And he that hateth reproof shall die. So like I said earlier, that message that the brother's trying to get to you could very well save your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, that could be, the Most High speaking through that man. So don't take that as face value.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Kind. Beautiful. We're going to skip down to Proverbs 16. And we're going to start from, we're going to read 16 verses 19 and 20.
I'll read it for you.
Kind.
This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 19. Better is it to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the pride.
See, and
with
that's
the proud. Salah.
Now you good. And that's the importance of humility. It's important to stay humble, man, and to always, like, going back to the topic, be open to correction because it's necessary. Because like we said earlier, you can't always see everything, and really we're all watchmen. Like even like a brother brought out of camp, brother Abba Abaja brought out of camp. As a watchman, you gotta watch everything, man. You watching what's going on in the world, in America, in the state, in your own little municipality, with yourself, with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, and with the brothers. You watching all that, So that's why it says better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly. So no matter what your state is, no matter what your state is, it's always better to stay humble, and be content in your situation. And sometimes part of your situation is you got to get God on, man. That's just what it is. Continue.
Verse 20. He that handled a matter wisely shall find good.
So you got to utilize wisdom, man. You got to utilize wisdom. And the biggest aspect of wisdom that I could convey is just to listen.
Right.
Just to listen. Now you might have a little something to say to maybe explain the situation, but you shouldn't be trying to get out of the situation. You might say, Salakia, this happened, that happened, just to kind of communicate the situation. Because even by you being open to that correction and you kind of communicating the situation, you might have a more experienced brother kind of give you tips and pointers on how to deal with what you're dealing with. So it's not necessarily evil to, or you're not necessarily going off to kind of explain the situation, as long as you're in the right spirit, because through that, the spirit might give you certain tips and how to, deal with certain things that men have already gone through before. But don't be trying to wiggle out of it and trying to, shake them lashes, man.
Yeah. Hey, especially if it's one or more brother is more than one coming to you with it, man, the spirit's against you. You
Kind.
might want to listen.
Right.
All right.
Right. You definitely want to
You
listen.
definitely not Mike. You go. You definitely want to listen.
Kind.
To finish up 20, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he.
Happy is he, man. You gotta trust in the Lord. You gotta trust that the Spirit is working through men to reveal to you certain things to make you better.
Right.
You know? So, and it might be even a situation where you might not even be fully going off. But the Spirit is getting on you just to toughen you up.
Right.
And let's be honest, man, it don't feel good.
Right.
You know, getting told about yourself, it don't feel good. And really it's not supposed to. It's like a growing pain. You know, you lift weights and your muscles are all sore. But you know, as you continue to work, you can lift more and more weight. You become stronger and stronger. Those muscles are broken to repair to be stronger.
Be built up.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you take heed to correction coming from the men around you, you're gonna be happy because you gotta trust and believe that the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is working in those men.
Okay. I got something real quick.
Okay.
This is Proverbs 27:5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
Mm-hmm.
Now you should want to be around men that call you out when you're going off.
Right.
Because if they don't, that mean that man don't don't care about you.
He don't love you.
He don't love you. The best way to show somebody that you love them is to correct them.
Right. Slacky.
Go ahead.
Because ultimately, he's correcting you. Why? So you can become more pure, so you can hopefully attain salvation. Because it's all about salvation.
Exactly.
It's all these components add up to one thing: being saved in the coming destruction of this wicked kingdom.
And you know, like say for instance, you got a child and you see him going off, you see he headed down the wrong path. You gonna whoop his ass and you gonna chasten him because you love him and you don't want to see him, going down that path.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with this truth. If you consider somebody or brother or your brother, you gotta correct them.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's open. That says open rebuke. Now don't go behind his back and be telling the next brother. You gotta go directly to that brother and tell him where he going off.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, we go ahead and finish out. I know this battery. Sagan try to hop in this battery, man. I already know.
You want to pull one more?
You can read 28. 28 and 28, 25 and 26.
All right. This is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 25. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife.
And that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Because you gotta understand, just like it speaks about in Ephesians, we all one body, man.
Yeah.
And in this body, this house of David that's being rebuilt, there's no room for pride. So when the scriptures speak about he that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, that's because you're really going against the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You think about the model that Yahweh Shai laid forth when he walked this earth. He wasn't proud, man. And truth be told, if there was one man who walked the earth that could and had the right to be proud, it was Yahweh Shai.
Right.
But he did what? He humbled himself down. He became a servant and a minister to the men and the people around him, to the point he even washed the feet of the disciples.
That's a great point. That's beautiful. Go ahead.
Continue.
But he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat.
And this isn't the doctrine that's put forth by the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. This isn't a prosperity doctrine, man. This isn't Christianity.
No.
So when you read these scriptures, the Most High's gonna bless you with certain things in this world. That's gonna happen. If it's His will. But it's not about earthly riches. That's about being made fat in the spirit, man.
That's right.
You growing in the spirit, and you have a higher level of understanding of the true mindset and mentality of the Heavenly Father through the only begotten Son. And that's how you made fat, man. You made fat with that spiritual increase. And that's really should be your main goal. Your main goal should be being built up in the spirit with faith, good works, brotherly love, and ultimately proving yourself worthy through your works to attain salvation. So that's how you made fat. Continue.
Verse 26, he that trusteth in his own heart is a fool.
Because you can't trust in your own heart. Because one, you gotta understand the situation that we placed in. Look at our nation, man. Look at the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. What the fuck? Excuse my language. What the fuck you got to be proud of, man?
Right.
Look at the condition of our people. And this is also a part of breaking that mentality of pride. Because even let's say you have a house, and you have a couple nice cars, you got a good paying job, so to speak. Your family well off. Well, fuck that, man. What about your people?
Right.
So even if you are doing good in the worldly sense, so to speak, you shouldn't even be thinking that way. Back to what's spoken of in Ephesians. We're one body, man. We're one body through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So you can't trust in your own thoughts, your own ways, your own way of living, the things you have in this world, because that ultimately, even if you have certain things in this wicked kingdom, is nothing compared to what we're going to have as a people when the kingdom of heaven is established on earth.
Right. But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
Walk wisely, man. And walking wisely, you think about if I'm walking, if I'm actually physically moving, I'm going somewhere. That's a motion. It's a continual process. So you got to continue in your wisdom, continue in your growth. Continue in being built up in the spirit. And that's why it's so important to take heed to correction, man. Because that's going to be a critical component in that. Because once again, in those shortcomings and you not being able to see certain things, the Spirit's going to use other men to help you walk in greater wisdom.
That's right.
And it says, Bible Sharp, read that again.
26.
Yeah, you can read the whole verse.
Okay. This is Proverbs 28 and 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
He shall be delivered. Delivered from what? Delivered from this terrible time that's getting ready to hit our people, man. Jacob's trouble. Where it's gonna be blood in the street to the horse's bridle. You're gonna have death at every corner. You're gonna be smelling rotten flesh. You're gonna be seeing dead bodies. You're gonna see people eating other people. It's gonna be no foliage on the trees, on the ground. People killing, rape. From that you're gonna be delivered. And you gotta keep that in your mind, man. When the Spirit's trying to put his hands on you to get you to understand certain things, you gotta fight them demons off to understand that, hey man, fuck with this demon trying to do and manipulate my spirit. Fuck that, man. I want salvation, man. I want to be delivered from the worst time it's ever going to be on this earth. You gotta keep that in mind, man, because it's vitally important, pertaining to your life. It's literally vitally important to take heed and grow as much as possible in the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, in the spirit, in the faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about growing and being built up as best as possible so that you can attain salvation. And once again, to close the loop on this whole message, a big part that's going to come through other men, man. But a big component about that you got to understand is, how are you going to take it? How are you reacting? Are you listening? Are you fighting it? Are you trying to avoid it? Are you incorporating it once it's brought to your attention? Or you just, I'll listen, but man, fuck that, man. I'm good. Right. All right, man. Pride come before destruction.
That's right.
Anything else to add up?
No, that's pretty much it.
Con. Well, with that, and all by saying, by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Once again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach, lead, and rule well. Honors and salutations to you, faithful Ogden, pushing that word and troops of city across the four corners. Lord willing, you will edify. Till next time, shalom.
Shalom.